And we are live. What up, players? Welcome to episode 65 of Player Life. It is Wednesday, the 17th of February. What is good? We have Rishi in the house. What is good, my man? What is good? We have Javier. What is up, man? What's good? Hope you're well. Um, yeah, just another day in the life here in Tokyo. And nothing crazy happened today. No orgies, no fights. Yeah, it was pretty normal day. Um, yeah, but today I want to talk about how women are kind of letting the cat out of the bag. More women than ever are telling us red pill truths, kind of inadvertently. So they're not actually meaning to tell us, but they're just kind of it out because the more women use social media, just the truth is kind of undeniable. They just kind of tell on themselves. Um, uh, yeah, but I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just it is just every day you go on the internet, you're gonna see. I actually don't. I'm not gonna spend that much time on all these like new applications like TikTok. I have it on my phone, but you can just see the way whenever there's a trend, women will just follow it. But what got me, gave me the idea to talk about this today was a clip that I saw. Uh, I think it was Richard Cooper post on Twitter. It was from the Joe Rogan podcast, and there's just some woman on. I don't know who she is, but apparently some MMA fighter or something like that, and she was talking about her ex boyfriend, and how she saw him losing a fight, and that she was so repulsed by it that um she had to end up breaking up with him. And it's like, you know it this is the kind of woman, that, in one sentence, yeah, she'll basically say that she's repulsed by her boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend losing a fight or showing weakness. And in the next sentence she'll say something like, oh, like, where are all the nice guys gone? Like, how come she can't just find a nice guy? So these girls, like, if ever you get into an argument with a woman in today's society, you will you'll notice that women will do this in real life as well. Like, they'll literally contradict themselves from sentence to sentence. Like, they'll say one thing, they'll tell you the truth with, like, inadvertently, like, not wanting to tell you the truth. They're letting the cat out of the bag, so to speak. And in the next sentence, they'll completely contradict what they just said. So, there's just so many. There's a lot of. I've. It's almost hard to give examples, but the clip that I will show you is a good example of it. Javier says it's blatant. This one model I was working with told me how she played guys inadvertently. Um, yeah, they'll say that, they just want a nice guy. They just want to find a nice sweet guy that'll listen to her and do all this, that, and the other. And in the next sentence they'll say, they want to get, like, I don't know, that that their heart was broken by some guy that just smashed and dashed on her. Um, it's funny how women will fall in love with guys that treat them like shit, and it's like, it's just a fact of life. I've experienced it. I understand. Like every time, I become like totally uninterested in women, in a certain chick that maybe is a plate. I They will definitely, almost certainly, start to catch feelings, just basically because they they understand when you don't like pedestalize a woman. They kind of get it. They understand that you have options, because if you didn't have options, the chances are that you wouldn't you would well, most guys would, like, pedestalize them, and worship them, and become really needy, because that's just male nature. If there's no other options, he's going to become needy, and all that. um but when you start to treat a girl like, it sounds psychotic to say, but when you start to treat girls badly, you know mixed in with, like, it, it can't be bad the whole time. That's the thing. It can't be like 100% of the time. You can't, like, be a complete jerk. It has to be kind of a mixture between being a jerk and, kind of, um mixed in with good sex, and having a good time with them. But it's more so, by being a jerk, what I mean is, like, not like hitting them up, basically, like being very stingy with your contact. You should only basically be hitting them up when you want to meet them, and you shouldn't be hitting them up that often. If you're spinning plates, like, you know meeting a girl once a week, in my opinion, would be a lot. you know Depends on how many plates you got. But it's like, guys that are needy, guys that don't have options, will want to hit up a girl at least once a week. He'll be trying to meet her, and then she'll be like, this guy is like, maybe, he doesn't have anything else going on. And girls can just smell that off guys. They understand. um they'll read into it, by your behavior. you know I showed a picture of, I showed a picture to MLD yesterday. It was back like about six years ago, and I was a lot more blue pilled back then. I wouldn't say I was fully blue pilled, but I was a very different person, like very different. And he just saw the picture and was like, you could see the blue pill in your eyes, and he's right. At that time, I was much more blue pilled back in 2015. Like I said, when I came around, when I started learning about, female nature, and the reality of, not only dynamics between men and women, but just becoming more wise to the world, and the things that go on. It wasn't an overnight thing. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm just like, you know. That's why when some people ask me, was there any moment that, like, you know, oh, just awoke me? And to be quite honest, no, there wasn't really. It was like a long process. It was like slowly, like I just kept learning more. And to be honest, like, that's a good thing. Like, if you're, I look back, back to those days, and I think, I'm embarrassed about how I used to think, about how I was, basically. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, because that shows progress. Every year you should be like going forward, and kind of like, you should have a little bit of embarrassment about your past, because you're improving, you're getting better and better. That's the way it should be. I definitely look back at my previous self, and I cringe at some of the things I used to do. I have, like, yeah, I have some memories that I wish I could bleach from my brain. uh some of the things I did. Yeah, I mean, there was one time when I was around 21 years old, and there was this chick. She was really hot, kind of like a gothic chick, and we were just you know I knew I kind of knew she had we had something between us, but she had a boyfriend, and back when I was 21, I was completely out of that. That's like 11 years ago, but so one night we were out and we were drinking, and we're like pretty drunk, and she comes up to me, and she tries to kiss me, and I said, "Oh, but you have a boyfriend." Like, oh my god, there was some guy, like, I had a friend of mine heard me say it, and he looked at me in disgust. Like, this guy, I mean, I don't even know, what I mean, he was just like, "You fucking, you little, like, you pussy," like, you know what I mean? Um, I did end up banging her, but even like, still, even the fact that I genuinely said that to her, like, I was like, "But you've a boyfriend." Oh my god, I can't do this. Like, oh my god, like, seriously, seriously. Like, if a chick, unless it's your, like, her. Just to be clear, her boyfriend wasn't my friend. Like, I wasn't. It's a different thing if it's you don't, like, screw your friends over. Obviously, you don't go like banging your friends' girlfriends. Yeah, obviously not. This was not that case. I didn't. I knew the guy, but I didn't even like him. But I still said that. I was such a back then. I have other stories too, where, like, I remember, um, know your worth in the house. What is up, man? What is good? Hope you're well. Uh, I have another time that's like like so painful to remember, in terms of embarrassment, in terms of like cringeworthiness, was I think I was around, I don't know, maybe 20 years old, and I remember it was one of my what was it? Yeah, it was my girlfriend at the time, and I broke up with her. Oh man. No, it was probably 19. I broke up with her, and I didn't want to break up with her, but I broke up with her because I thought it was the right thing to do, because I was going to college, and it probably was the right thing to do, but just the way I behaved around that time, the way I actually cried in front of my mother, and I feel so, like, to this day, I'm 32 years old. I still feel embarrassment. Like, because the reason I feel so embarrassed about it is because I could see the kind of the pitiful, like, I could see that my mother was kind of disgusted by it. Like, she was kind of like, she tried to comfort me, but I think she was kind of disgusted that I was such a weakling, like, such, like, and she's right in a way, but I mean, just women just do not like to see weakness in men. You know, I think she was probably just like, "Oh God, like, I've raised this little weak son. It's crying over a girl. It's like really pathetic." Um, yeah, but it's like, like I said, you're gonna have things like that. Those are just two that come to mind, like two things that just come to mind. There's probably a lot more. I mean, there definitely is. But yeah, but you're gonna constantly look back at your previous self, and as long as you're moving up in life and you're improving, then it is it's a good sign if you're not, like, too pleased with how you were, like, last week, or the month before, or the year before, or 5 years before, 10 years before. You shouldn't be the same person. You should kind of be growing. Like, there's this idea that, oh, if you change, you're a bad person. You should change. Like, you know, maybe there's like a core character maybe that you can have, like, that you don't want to completely sell out or something, but um, you have to be willing to change. because that's just the way it is. Because that's the way to improve. You don't want to be static. Um, but I don't know. I was looking at these comments today on like on Instagram on chicks posts, and it's just like shocking about how many men there are out there that it's just it's unbelievably shocking how many men out there that are willing to like simp so hard in comment sections. And you have to understand, like, these guys, like, they have no idea how unbelievably futile simping in comment sections are. Not only is it futile, futile isn't even a strong enough word, because when women see men like commenting on their on their photos and whatnot, it's like if it's a love hate kind of thing. They crave the attention, yet they despise the men who do it. So it's an odd kind of mix. So there's like you'll see these Insta models, and there'll be like thousands, hundreds, sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands of comments, and obviously they'll mostly be from men, uh, and or whatever, guys in general, and they'll just be worshiping and simping so hard, and these guys are just so, they're like how I was, like, when I don't even know if I did that. No, but like they're just so out of it. I don't think I ever simped in comment sections, but um they're just like, if they ever come through, like, if they come around and take the red pill, they will like feel real embarrassment about how they behaved, um in comment sections, because like I said, not only is it futile, like there's no, like, you're only embarrassing, you're only belittling yourself when you shouldn't even like girls you know photos, really. um you know what I mean? Unless it's for business purposes, or unless you have some kind of excuse, like I do. I'm like, I obviously do the photo game photography sim, so occasionally I will like some girls' photos just because like I've shot with them or I want to shoot with them. But it's not in a simpy like kind of way where I think that I'm gonna like it's gonna score me any brownie points. It's just trying to like keep up appearances or whatever, keep a good relationship with some of the chicks I shoot with. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. I'll 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 pull up a comment section. I haven't even looked, prepared this, but I'll check, see what we can find. Okay, so here's a pretty hot, um, obviously Insta model. So we have 143,000 likes and 1,821 comments. So let's see what are some of the comments. So yeah, some of the top ones are from other female models, but once we go down a bit, we're probably gonna. Okay, here's a guy. Simply divine. Happy New Year to you. All these cheesy emojis. Like, what is the point? Like, there is no point in doing that. This guy says, "Woohoo!" Another guy, sublime. Love hard eyes. Happy New Year, beautiful. I mean, what is the point? Like, there is no, like, fantastic baby, love heart, emoji eyes. Um, it's just like the simping like never ends. I mean, all these emojis, such effort, like for no, like for what? Like, Happy New Year, Happy New Year's Eve, gorgeous. And like I said, when these guys like leave these comments, yeah, the girls crave the attention. They love the attention, but they hate the guys that do it. I've heard girls tell me that they post like I think I think I heard some girl on John's interview say that she liked the attention, but she hated when guys like she'd post stories on her Instagram, and like she wanted people to look at her stories, but she hated like when people commented on it. And that's what that's my impression, that these chicks, like, they love the attention, they want guys to comment, but they also hate the guys that comment. They despise the guys that they like. They think guys that comment are like pathetic, worthless pieces of shit. Just I just love to think about it like this. Just think about it like who, like, you know, the late great Sean Connery. Just think about a guy like that. Just that like ultimate, like, kind of like Chad, like alpha fucking dude, right? Just think about it. Would he ever like be sitting at home looking at Instagram and commenting like, like these and commenting on chicks' photos? Like, not in a million years. Like, he wouldn't degrade himself doing, you know what I mean? So just, you have to like kind of think about what you're doing. Like, I'm not saying any of you guys would do it, but I'm just saying so many guys do it. Like, guys, top quality guys would just never engage in this kind of pathetic behavior. Happy New Year, all these bunch of emojis, like, um, it's just like I said, thousands. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's like, what I guess, like, obviously the sexier the photo, the more comments there's going to be. Look, 1,250 comments, 1,923 comments, just like endless attention. And I guarantee she's not like, obviously she's not like, she definitely doesn't read the comments. Like, um, you know, it's just yeah, simping never pays. Like, and no free attention. That's the way it has to be. You just can't be giving away free attention, and they don't deserve it. Heather says, red pill story time. Indeed, indeed. Taj, what is up, man? What is good? Javier says, I used to be a crier, cried for everything. I mean, in certain instances, like, I mean, it's like obviously justifiable to cry. I mean, if there's a death of a family member or something, you know what I mean? But obviously less is better. You know, girls are like, oh, guys should cry, guys should open up, guys, guys need to show emotion. Girls are repulsed by that. They're absolutely repulsed by it. They despise guys that do that. You'll be forever placed in the the just obviously you're going to be friend zoned, and friend zone doesn't even mean friend zone. Like, friend zone just means nothing really. A lot of time when girls say like, oh, let's just be friends, they just say that so it's not going to be awkward, and then like they'll ghost the guy, they'll block the guy or whatever. You know what I mean? There's no such thing. And you always get these girls, these chicks that are like, that they'll say, oh yeah, yeah, they'll say that guys and girls can be friends, and and like, no, it's just like those type of girls that have a lot of guy friends is obviously a massive red flag. It's a red flag when if you're looking for someone to date. The thing about me is, like, I'm not a relationship coach. I'm a get laid coach. I teach guys how to like get laid. I'm not a guy I'm not here teaching guys how to like date these chicks. That's that's straight, open, like, transparency. Like, I'm not like a relationship coach. Like, I'm like how to turn these chicks out, how to like, have sex with them. And I'm really good at it because like, I started from like the bottom. Like, I started from like being like completely awkward and shy around chicks, like unbelievably awkward and shy. Like when I, as a teenager, like I could, as soon as I started, realizing chicks were hot when I'm really young, in my teens, when you hit puberty, obviously I was like, plus I went to an all male high school for like 6 years. So from like 13 years old to 18, 18, 19, I was not around chicks on a daily basis. So that made it hard for me. That's why I had to really learn. Like it was a steep like learning curve. When I went to university, when I went to college, real awkward, real like basic shit. But I came through it, and I really made up for lost time. Like um, when I first started, like I remember when I was real like started meeting chicks and getting a bit more confident. I'd be nervous going on dates, like actually nervous. It's mad to think that I used to be like that. It's real mad. Like I can't even imagine being nervous on a date, like going to go meet a girl. Like I'm not saying that to be cool. Like I'm not saying like to like sound cool. I just don't it's just not an intimidating thing. There's no, I don't get butterflies. I just, sometimes, when I'm in the mood, like I'm excited to like to smash because I know there's a chance like I'm gonna smash a hot chick, but it's not nerves at all. I'm so used to it. Being used to it and being bored is a different thing. I'm not bored of it by any stretch of the imagination. I'm definitely not bored by meeting and smashing new girls. And a lot of people criticize, say, "Oh yeah, it gets boring. You're gonna eventually want to settle down." And I'm like, God, smashing new chicks is it's not boring yet. I'm 32 years old. Can't see it getting any boring anytime soon. Um, and but then on the other hand, like sometimes you know some people call it like player burnout, and I wouldn't even say I get player burnout, but yeah, I never get tired of like smashing new chicks, like never. Unless the only time I would get tired of smashing chicks is if I'm physically unwell. Like that's like if I'm had like a real bad flu or something, and even then I'd still be kind of horny. But the thing that does tire me out sometimes is like dealing with female nature. That kind of like sometimes when that happens, I kind of like I take a week or two off. Like just I kind of cut. I don't message chicks. I don't like. I might not meet anyone for like a week or two even, and sometimes I'll even like start afresh where I'll cut out all the girls in my life and like start again, and it's just like you're back at square one, but it's like it's a good thing to do because I don't know, it just like gives you like the motivation to like pursue new chicks, and it's just needs to be done sometimes. It's like spring cleaning. Everyone, everyone needs to do a bit of spring cleaning if they have a rotation. Quite honest, I'm not interested in like like permanent like these long term rotations. It's like it's like that's kind of like dating them. It gets boring. I'm interested in the new, like the new. You know, it's all about the new. And plus, I'm not interested in maintaining relationships with these chicks. As soon as I get any drama or any like like any bad vibes or any like kind of red flags where they're like this chick is like kind of untrustworthy or I don't know what she'll do. I'll cut them out. I'll block them. Like I'll be done. Um. Uh. Rishi says, "Yo, Mac, I wanted to ask you, how do you escalate to sex with Asian, shy, timid women?" That's a good question. Um, so with Asian, shy, timid women, I've met a lot. I tend to meet, I meet these girls, and a lot of the time I meet them from not from dating apps because the girls that use dating apps usually they're not that shy, to be honest. Like they're on dating apps, so they've unless they've just started using a dating app. But in my experience, the girls on dating apps are not shy. But when I meet the girls, sometimes I game shy girls on the street, and I meet them, and we have a date, and I bring them back and we smash. But the shy girls will be like, they need to be led, you know. You need to, you need to make them comfortable. You need to make them laugh. You need to show that you're not like a psychopath. Um, and then, whenever it gets to, bring them back to your place, you you have to, like, you have to really kind of, you know understand that the resistance is a lot, is like a shit test. You know a lot of girls, when girls are not interested, when girls are, when they're, when Japanese girls are shy, they'll they will, you know they will often have a shit test, because in Japan, girls don't, Japanese style, like, girls that don't, generally meet foreigners, they've, the good girls, not that there's many good girls, but even, even the bad girls in Japan, they will make Japanese guys like wait for sex. Like, Japanese guys will have to, like, a lot of time they'll have to put something down. Like, it's crazy. Like, the Japanese women, like milk these men, like milk them bad. Like, a lot of guys will have to buy them gifts, things like that. But how you escalate, there's many ways. I mean, you escalate through, getting close. You break down the physical barrier as soon as possible by, like, how, just you have to start the initial touching. And I don't like to just, like, jump in with the kiss. Oh, you can do that, but with shy girls, not a great idea. You can say, show me your hand. You can say, you can compare your hand sizes, so you just, like, you break that, like, physical barrier, break the ice. It's an icebreaker. You compare hand size, and she goes, oh, so go, oh, it's amazing. Your hand is so big. Like, you know what I mean? They'll always do that. It's all so predictable. Your hand is so big, and yeah, she'll be impressed by it. And then you can do another thing where you say, stand up, and how tall are you? And then you grab them. See that mirror behind me? A lot of girls have stood in front of that mirror. So I put them in front of the mirror, and then I stand behind them, and like, obviously I'm always taller than them, so, like, they're like, hey, sugoi. Sugoi means amazing. And I have my hands, I rub my hands down their hips. I say, oh, you have such a nice shape, you've really nice, you're so, like, you're so curvy. She's like, oh, and then they'll be like real shy, and then you can just, like, kiss their neck, and usually that's all it takes. And then they should, like, you know sometimes they'll resist. You can, sit back down on the sofa, like, try again, and, like, in like 10 minutes, like, give it a rest if she puts up a hard resistance. Um, but when they're not interested, they look at their watch, they'll say, oh, it's late, oh, I have to go, I've work. But when they stay, when they're resisting, but they're staying, and they're still not looking too, like, nervous, or when they're kind of getting comfortable but resisting, that you can try again in like 5 minutes, or, like, just, like, put a little bit of break in, but don't leave it. Don't just, like, give up. Don't just give up. When they're not interested, they will leave. Hope that helps. Um, uh, if you're C says, if you are nice to the insta thought, then you will get some, right? Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, I mean, instant girls don't, like, they're so inundated, like, with messages and attention, that you're just going to be lost in the box of dicks, basically. Um, totally lost. Surprise plays. What's up? What's up? C says, why are dudes default simps though? I mean, that's just a mating strategy that a lot of guys employ. It's just, I don't know. It's what, you know. Simping, basically, is what they want, is what women want inferior men to do. so they use the simps to get, uh make them feel, give them make them feel worthy, um that you guys that will give them money, give them resources. um um it's I don't know how it has become so, it has spiraled so out of control. It's probably, it's because, the whole, the dating marketplace has become, obviously technology has played a massive role in making simps out of so many guys. um there's a whole industry around it, uh and I just it's because a lot of guys are just conditioned to think that that's the strategy that they have to follow, or that's just what is morally right, and that's how they have to do it. You know, we live in a society where, like, from school, all across the Western world, it's all across the Western world, it's ran by mostly females. So, you know, the female sexual strategy is to, you know, find a guy that will provide for them, and also, you know, obviously, if they could, they'd obviously want that, like, alpha Chad guy that would also provide for them, and do as they're told. But, it's like, it's kind of an oxymoron. It's like, it doesn't work out that way. You know, by being an alpha Chad, it's like, it's unlikely that he's going to, like, do as he's told and follow orders and all that. So, you know it's it's just, guys think if they simp hard enough, they'll eventually get some, because they'll become, like, valuable to women. And, the simps are the guys that get the girls when they've, like, hit the wall. Simps get some eventually, when they become like, they get the dry, they think, they think their strategy is finally played out, when they're getting, like, they're not only getting sloppy seconds, they're getting sloppy 220. It's, what I mean. The simps, like, simping doesn't pay. They only get, like, the dried up, shitty part. It's the alpha Chad guys, the guys with game, that you get all the best years. They get, like, the hot 21-year-olds, because the hot 21-year-olds are thinking, how does he have a six pack? Can he bang me, like, six times a night? Will he choke me out? Will he slap me around the room? Will he pick me up when he's banging? This is what these, like, these freaky young chicks want. They like to be slapped. Like, man, I've seen so much shit. I've seen too much. Um, but Sims get none of that action. None of that action. And, whenever they do, it's kind of like, the chicks will, like, they won't be into it. They won't be into it. It'll be transactional. She won't be aroused during the sex. Um, I'll tell you a story. Like, man, like, I know this girl, right? Like, full transparency. Like, this is a crazy story, right? Um, so on, yeah. So I met this girl, right? And yeah, banged her on New Year's Eve, and she has a boyfriend, right? She doesn't intend on breaking up with him, because I saw her Instagram. It's they have these, like, simp kind of, these, like, lovely dates, and it sounds so harsh, like, but, they go on these dates to Disneyland and shit. And but she's just a really horny girl that wants to be dicked down, so she's just gonna have the best of both worlds. Like, I didn't, I met her in a club, so, I didn't find out she had a boyfriend until after. But when we got down to it, I found out that she has had, she's had threesomes, all kinds of combinations and stuff. So yeah, I hit her up. One of my mates here, the American guy, and he was like, "Yo, let's do like I'll bring a chick, you bring a chick, and we'll both like smash them, kind of like a swinger thing." But so I was like, this chick's the perfect candidate because she has a boyfriend. Like, I don't have to give up one of my plates to So this was the perfect chick for it because she's a boyfriend. I've only smashed her once or twice. So anyway, I brought her along, and oh man. So anyway, my friend had another chick there. Ultimately, the chick he brought kind of like, she kind of backed out. Like she was there, and then she kind of was like, I'm not feeling it. But since I'm a good sport and I was there, I ended up like spit roasting this chick with my buddy. We just did it. But man, we really gave it to her. And this chick has a boyfriend like that she doesn't even intend on breaking up with. Like, he's not seeing this side of her. He probably doesn't have any idea um about this side to her. And let's just say she liked it rough, like really rough. Like, man, these chicks have like a sexual appetite for aggression. Like, seriously, you know, you'll be surprised. Like, you'll never find this. Like, she might take, like, this guy might end up that her boyfriend might end up marrying her. Like, like, can you imagine? And he probably never find out. You know, he's just in his blue pill world. He probably loves her. He probably thinks she's like this sweet, innocent girl. She does. She looks innocent. She looks sweet. But man, like, I guarantee, I guarantee her boyfriend has never made her orgasm like we did like that night. It was like a porn movie. It was wild. It was wild, but I guarantee he's never made her like come like that. Um yeah, but anyway, guys, I'm gonna show you the clip I saw on Twitter. It's from Joe Rogan's uh, podcast. All right, so Richard Cooper. Well, you probably all know Richard Cooper. He says women don't care about men's struggles. They hang out at the finish line and pick the winner. Shortly after this fight, she dumped him. Guys, you gotta listen to this. This is just like female nature. Like, she's just like, a lot of women think, like, most women. This is most women, but most women don't admit it. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. Most women keep this on the wraps, but this chick is letting the cat out of the bag. It's good. It's good stuff. Like, because we all need to know this.
During the fight, he almost gets knocked out. As this guy is mauling him, he goes like this. What do you think I was thinking?
Not good thoughts. Yeah, you didn't like it.
No.
Did it turn you off?
Oh my God, so much.
Whoa.
I was like, dude, you're getting fucked up, and as you're falling to the canvas, still need to go you.
Wow.
You're like, yeah, like that.
So the way he was getting beaten was with you.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that he was getting beaten.
I don't care. I don't care.
Away.
Yeah, I don't care.
If he wasn't digging
you're not
in.
gonna. Yeah, like you gotta like take that.
Very good.
Yeah, like a champ or like a fighter.
Right.
Yeah, you can't be like.
Wow.
Was
that the beginning of the end?
Yeah.
And
he was a great
first couple of nails.
He was great. During the fight, he almost gets.
All right, guys. Like, can you believe that? Like, it's. I know this. It's just, but it's great to see it. Like, just some women just telling the truth, because we're just so, and more women are letting the truth out like that. And I'd say it's inadvertent. Like they're not doing it intentionally because I didn't even watch that full episode, but like it's I've seen it so many times like that where a woman will say something like that, and like even at the end where she said, he was a great boyfriend. You know, she'll say like 5 minutes later that she just wants to find a nice boyfriend, or she wants to find a boyfriend. Women don't, they can't see past their own nose. They they just kind of start speaking, like, and then they'll tell the truth, and then they'll continue on talking, and then they'll say like they'll say something else, but when they'll say something that they think they're covering the tracks. They'll try and hide, mask their true intentions, even though they're it's and I think the reason because like is because women speak so much. Apparently, women. I don't even know the stats, but I think women speak a lot more than men per day. I think there was a study done. I need to check the facts, but I know for a fact that women speak, like they just speak and speak and speak and speak, so that eventually the truth will come out. And she just basically, described female nature. Like Richard Cooper always says that. That's one of his catchphrases. Women, wait at the finish line and pick the winner. And she literally described exactly what he's always saying. Like, um, ever since I've been watching his channel. I've heard him say that so many times. Women wait at the finish line and pick the winner. You know, um, there's I've heard other stories where men have gone into like charity boxing matches, lost the charity boxing match in front of their wife or girlfriend, and then it can destroy a relationship. That's how bad it can be. you know um Even if you see fighters like boxers, like MMA fighters, they'll when they compete and they get beaten really badly, a lot of time you'll see their wives like in absolutely distraught, like in tears, like bawling. And like the harsh, like unbelievably harsh reality is they're they might not even be bawling about their you know because they're worried about their husband or boyfriend. They could be bawling because of how disgusted they are by it, or how sad they are that they're losing such like attraction for their boyfriend or husband. That's just my hot take on it, but there could be something there to it. Just, you know what I mean? Whenever you see these wives like bawling after they see their husband get knocked out or lose a fight. I saw, like, when McGregor lost the last fight, I saw his wife. I don't even know if it's his wife, but it might as well be his wife. Uh, I saw her like bawling, and it's like, yeah, she's probably bawling because she's like so upset that, I don't know, that he didn't. I don't know. It's She could be bawling because she's so upset that like she's losing that attraction from him. Bit of a hot take, but I think that there could be something there. Um, let's see. Rishi says, "How do you get to unveil the hidden part of these gals?" The hidden part of girls is like, you need to have no fear of losing these girls. That's how you get to unveil the hidden parts. So, you know, a lot of times I unveil the hidden parts of these girls after either yeah it's usually after sex. In certain circumstances when it's like highly charged kind of sexual vibes, or if we're in a nightclub, or or where you're messing with them, then you can get sexual, kind of talk about them with you know. But usually after I've had sex with them, they're kind of like they're still like it's highly charged sexual kind of conversation or whatever. You can just start talking. Like I usually just start asking them like something like simple, like have you ever had a threesome, and then if they'll be like how, and then they'll say no or yes or whatever, and then they'll ask me, and then I'll say yes, I have, and I've done it many times, and then once they know that I've done it, then the truth will come out. I've had girls say no, and then they say, have you done it? And I'll be like, yeah, I've done it like plenty of times, and then they'll be like, oh well, okay, I actually did do it, because they once they kind of figure out that I'm not the guy that they thought I was, or that I'm a different kind of guy, then they'll kind of tell the truth, and then you can really get the bottom. You can get to the bottom because they know I'm not going to judge them, because I've done it, So, and I kind of let them know that I'm not. I don't like ever like yeah. I don't get like, oh my god, you've done that. Oh, ugh. I don't. None of that. No, like you gotta get them comfortable to speak the truth, and it's kind of I've just gotten good at doing it. Like I just do it kind of naturally, because I'm so far into the like game that I I just don't get emotional. Like I don't get attached to girls. Like I don't have that. A lot of guys are afraid to dig. They're afraid to like ask those questions because they'll be like hurt. They'll be like they're kind of like a little bit like they see a little bit of girlfriend material in her, and they'll see kind of, oh yeah, I could maybe if they had a really good time with her, she was like kind of cool, they'll be really afraid to ask those questions. So I would say though, it's to be like I'm no relationship expert, but I would say it's probably better. It's a once you open that can of worms, there's no putting it back. So if you are looking for a relationship, I would suggest you probably don't want to go. You probably don't want to unveil these hidden things. Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you want to get to the bottom of it. If you want to get to the bottom of it, if you want to find out the real truth, then you can try and but the thing is, when girls find out, like if she's actually a good girl, a quality woman, and she hasn't done any of that, and then you've already told her what all the things you've done, she might, who knows, I don't know, you might have like shot yourself in the foot. But if you're like just out here playing the fields and just like not afraid of losing any chicks, so it's pretty easy to get to the bottom, to unveil the hidden parts. Rishi says, was the swinger girl Japanese? Yes, she was Japanese. Yeah, she's Japanese, and she's dating a foreign guy apparently. Total freak. Man, crazy. I don't know. Nothing shocks me anymore. Gabriel says she's the one who doesn't do anal, just not. She's the one who doesn't do anal, just not with you. Yeah, girls will like biggest red flag is if a girl doesn't give you a blowjob, or if she refuses to give you a blowjob, it's a massive red flag. It's like, yeah, she's not that horny. Basically, you're not really ticking her boxes. So yeah, girls that don't give blowjobs is like, I'm not gonna meet them again. Basically, even if yeah, has Javier says, has this ever happened to you, Mac, where you see how they react after you fighting? I have. Yeah, I mean, there was one time. I haven't been in that many fights, but I have been in a few fights. I mean, way back in my blue pill days when I was in college, there was one time where I was actually out with a bunch of friends, and one of my friends one of my good friends got in a fight with a college friend of mine, and my good friend sparked hit the guy, my college friend, in the jaw, and like sparked him out, and the college guy broke his leg, like, and then I ended up having a fight with my friend. That was years ago. We're good friends now, but we had a pretty I gave him a pretty bad beating. Because I was like, it was a bad situation, but I was like, there were two of the guys were my friends, but the guy that gave my college friend a beating, it was totally unnecessary. He didn't, so I had to, like, I had to intervene. And then he said, my friend, he's a lunatic when he drinks. He's an absolute lunatic. Like, he used to be. He doesn't drink anymore, but he's such a psycho when he drank. Like, and I'll be honest, I'd been wanting to give him a beating for a while, because he had he had been pushing the boundaries too much, and that was like when he broke the guy's leg, like, really destroyed his knee. The guy had to get surgery, but at the time, it was like out a crazy night, and my friend said to me, he said to me, like, it was funny. I always remember. He's like, I'm gonna let you hit me, right? And after you hit me, I'm gonna really hurt you. He said that to me. You're gonna regret this. I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna really hurt you, Mac. He was saying to me, and he put his hands behind his back, and he said, hit me. Like, I'm gonna hurt you. You're dead after you hit me, but I'm gonna give you the first shot. So I was like, I'm gonna hit him, like, because, like, I was like, dude, I just wound up, just like bang, like right in his face, and yeah, and then he was like pure stunned, and he didn't even go down. And anyway, it was shit. It was shit because he was my friend, but no, we're still friends now. But he would admit that he definitely deserved it. But anyway, that was kind of a side thing. But yeah, there were some chicks that saw it in the college, and I think I told this story before, but I got a lot of attention from chicks that not only that saw me do that, but chicks that, like, heard about me do it, and that would never, like, have that would have never really looked at me before. Some hot chicks, and it was complete 100% related to me, them hearing about me do that. 100%, like, extremely flirtatious with me, like, really, like, horny, like, overtly horny, like, talking to me. um I had a few different girls come up to me. It's stupid, like, but they just heard about me getting a fight. They were attracted to me. They were really attracted to me. I guess, I went to an art college as well, so there's not that many masculine guys there. There wasn't that many, so, like, and there was a lot of girls that in my, it was like 70% female, I think, the ratio. So the fact that they thought, that I'm a bit, way more masculine than most of the guys there, so that I got a lot of attention. It was interesting thing to see. But yeah, we're good. He's the guy that we're good friends now, so it's all good. But yeah, it's shit having to fight your friends, but sometimes shit happens. Da, 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 yeah, I don't know, but yeah, the truth is pretty harsh. Like, let's see. C says, "Oh yeah, I'm up in Sendai. Slim pickings. That's crazy. I used to live in Sendai City, man. Like, do I know you? Do you know me? I used to live there. I lived in Sendai for 4 years. Good spot, not too big, not too small. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know. Shoot me a DM or something. Follow me on Instagram, Act the Day Gamer. Let me know who you are. Yeah, Sendai Kokobun Show. I know Sendai City well. Sendai's a good spot for game because there's not that many foreigners there. You can be a lot of you can you'll cross a lot of swords with the foreign population there though. The girls in Sendai that are into foreigners, they tend they get round. But yeah, it's that's how I first learned that like when I first came to Japan, I lived in Sendai, and I soon realized that you know most most Japanese girls are not into foreigners, because I started like hooking up with girls that some of my mates in Sendai hooked up with, and Sendai's a pretty big city, so that shouldn't really be happening. Like if it was like evenly, if girls just saw like as us to as equals to Japanese guys, that wouldn't happen in a city that size. You wouldn't just coincidentally be hooking up with the same chicks, or if you did, it would be rare. But no, this happened all the time. But anyway, that's a side story. Um, she says, I just got here, started watching because I heard you were here. Cool, man. Send me a DM, yeah, if you ever come to Tokyo. I can tell you a bit about Sendai. Yeah, it's a good city though. I liked living there. It's close to the sea, close to the mountains. You can go snowboarding in the winter. You can do surfing if you want in the summer or winter if you have a wetsuit. City's nice, good food, uh, good place to be. I definitely didn't hate it. Good times. But yeah, 4 years was enough. I came to Tokyo then. But yeah, cool. Yeah, good. All right, guys, I'm gonna can it there. I'll be back tomorrow night. What day is? Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. I'm gonna be interviewing Afi Kingdom tomorrow. I guess it'll probably most of you guys, it'll be nighttime with most of you guys. Tune in for that show with Afi Kingdom. And then at night I'm gonna do another episode of Player Life. So I'll be streaming twice tomorrow. So good stuff, guys. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. I will catch you guys later. Peace out. Bye bye.